special winter edition of Weather Northeastern. Let's look at those wintry photos and videos sent in. Micah Bush from upstate New York over the weekend saw a very small system that changed to rain. Started out as some snow, sleet, then transitioned over to freezing rain and eventually rain. But the next couple photos here are a different story as that Arctic front blasted in from the northwest on Wednesday. Take a look at some of these snow squalls that moved through the region, dropping a quick couple inches in many areas. This is the light, powdery type of snow, and this pattern will continue as temperatures drop into the single digits with some overnight lows below zero. Wind chill advisories were in effect as well, so looks very cold, and this type of pattern, anything that falls will stick around because we stay below 32 in most areas. So thank you, Micah Bush, for sending these photos in. The last photo here looks like a very decent snow squall from Beaver Dam. So these snow squalls initially were along the front, and behind the front, lake effect from the Finger Lakes, and Lake Ontario is kicking in. So it looks very wintry, and also looks wintry across Pennsylvania. Derek Rentschler from Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. He snapped these photos of the Alberta Clipper snows that happened on Tuesday. Now this Alberta Clipper dropped even more snow west of Pittsburgh. However, this system was weakening as it moved into his neck of the woods. Nevertheless, saw about an inch or two, with isolated areas up to 3 inches. And the last photo, Cornwall, portion of Lebanon County, looks like they got even slightly more. Looks very wintry, and you may see your first 7-inch snowstorm that you've been waiting for, potentially this month, maybe as early as late next week. I know you've been waiting for it, as Lebanon County still has not seen a major winter storm. Let's take a look at someone who could be seeing some type of wintry weather. Lucas D. from Linden, Texas. Yes, sleet and freezing rain potential this weekend, and I'll have more details on that. In the meantime, last week, Lucas sent in these videos of a very clear sky, a nice jet in the sky as he was able to zoom in very closely with his HD camcorder. And as you can see, looking very crystal clear, clear as a bell here across the Linden area. And his last video here is of a very beautiful time lapse of a nice crimson sunset. Can't get better than this, especially with the lower sun angle this time of year. So looking very nice, but will look very wintry here in Linden, Texas, especially this weekend. Let's take a look at precipitation totals before we look at that potential winter weather outlook for the southern states here. We basically here across the Gulf Coast, you see that bullseye of 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, maybe up to an inch of liquid. A lot of this may not be liquid, and I'll discuss why. Here in California, many of you are wondering, well, what happened to the rain? Well, the pattern has changed. We bumped that jet stream further north. El Nino is kind of leveling off at this point, so the effects aren't fully being recognized as of yet. We started to feel a little bit of it in December here, but the pattern's kind of flipped. We'll start to see a little bit more rain towards the end of January for California, but in the meantime, we're going to keep that jet stream riding tough, and I'll show you that jet stream on the next map here. And back east here, across the Great Lakes, those clippers and lake effect snow will keep the precipitation on hand. Let's take a look at that pattern setting up for the weekend. That jet stream digging across the south here, that system moving out of the Gulf. It's not going to be a major system, but enough moisture to overrun the warm front here immediately along the Gulf Coast and coastal plains, throwing all that moisture back inland across Shreveport over to Linden, just east of Dallas, just south of Little Rock, maybe as far east as Tupelo, Mississippi here, where we could be seeing some sleet pellets and freezing rain, freezing on contact on the surface. Most areas staying about 1/10 an inch of ice or less, but that's still a lot of ice. Some areas up to 1/4 inch, which is enough to bring down some limbs and some power lines. So watch out for that. Here out west, as I said, that jet stream riding high into the Pacific Northwest here, keeping most of the moisture bottled up over Washington State until later on in the month, where we'll start to see a little bit more of a wet pattern in California. And of course, take a look at that pattern up here in the Northeast. Fast-moving Alberta Clippers across the northern tier states here. Look how flat that jet stream is. Each clipper will only drop 1 inch or 2 of snow. And speaking of 1 inch or 2 of snow, let's take a look at those snowfall totals. With the exception for eastern Lake Ontario and eastern Lake Erie, where we'll get 4, 8, maybe as much as 12 inches of snow over the next couple days, several days with the lake effect. Most areas you can see in the lighter colors here, we're basically into those inch or two categories. So let's take a look at those surface maps. We're starting off with a little bit of a warming trend for your TGIF here. Warm front pushing in, temperatures warming into the 20s, maybe near 30 along the southern Pennsylvania border here. But this will be short-lived as these snow showers move through. Lake enhancement off Lakes Erie and Ontario moves through off the coast here for your Saturday, pushing blusterier and colder. Upstate New York, we're once again dipping down into the teens and even single digits across southern Ontario and Quebec. And look at this, New England as well. Some exiting snow showers, and the lake effect starts to kick in east of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, piling up probably another 2, 4, maybe 3 to 6 inches here just north of Syracuse, south of Watertown. Heading on into Sunday, we get that return flow we're starting to see on the backside of this high pressure system off the coast. We start to see temperatures warm to near 30, places like Pittsburgh, Erie, Cleveland, Albany, Scranton, Harrisburg. Still holding tough here in northern New England with that cold air that's really bottled up. Southern Quebec, the coldest temperature readings, upper single digits, lower teens. And heading on into your Monday, take a look at this. Next front moves through, another clipper, but as I said, not more than a half an inch of snow accumulation with this. Along the coastal plain, will warm up near 40 in some locations, but behind it, lots of lower 20s for highs. That's going to do it for this segment of Weather Northeastern. I'm going to have a 5-day outlook for my hometown viewers in the upper Susquehanna region of upstate New York, from Binghamton to Scranton's northeast Pennsylvania. Don't forget to like me on Facebook at MeteoMark, subscribe to me on YouTube at MeteoMark.com, Facebook at MeteoMark, and Twitter, WX Northeastern, and Google Plus at MeteoMark as well. Binghamton to Scranton. Starting off with your Friday, look at this temperatures. It'll feel like a heat wave, 25, but look at this, you're back down to near 15 on Saturday as that front blasts through Sunday. Looking a little bit more sunnier, finally get some sun up near the upper 20s. Then for Monday, clouds increasing, chance of a late day snow shower, highs approaching the near 30-degree range. That'll feel like a heat wave, but heading back to the low to mid 20s on Tuesday with some sunny skies. I'll be watching for that potential for the potential East Coast system that could be a factor later next week. That's going to do it for this edition of Weather Northeastern.